of what's
Yeah.
coming.
Potentially so. Potentially so. So this is Billy. I'm joined by Mike. We're casting Game 2 of Best of 3 in the Mud League tournament. Second round
Hello.
of the Challengers bracket. Mike, you want to introduce the players?
Sure. We got Whitewolf, the blue Terran, in the bottom right corner, and we got Nightfall, the what is that? Orange Zerg in the top right corner. Those colors always confuse me. Like
Yeah.
some of them look really close to each other.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Nightfall, when I played him yesterday, took light pink. I think he knew that was my color and was just trying to play some mind games with me. Didn't really
Yeah.
appreciate that too much. Not gonna lie.
You took out your rage on him.
Yep.
That's why.
Well, it took me a game to figure it out, I'll tell you that. The key with Nightfall, he plays a macro heavy game, and if you let him get to that third base and get into tier 2, tier 3 tech without doing anything, you're in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got Whitewolf moving out with a scouting SCV. He has correctly guessed the starting position of Nightfall. Unfortunately for Nightfall, his first Overlord is actually going the wrong direction. The second one is headed the right direction, though.
I am really not a fan of these 2v2 maps. I think from now on in any tournaments or whatever, I will, if they ask my preference, I will not say.
Not a 2v2 map?
Yeah, anything but a 2v2 map. I
So-
hate having to find the person.
Yeah, you know, the map pool is actually, I looked, it's the same one GSL uses, and it's just the normal ladder maps right now. And the reason why, and actually that SCV gets caught by Nightfall's workers, so
Yeah.
Whitewolf
I
is
saw that.
not going to know it was a hatch first, but we did have a 14 hatch come out from Nightfall. But what I was going to say was that one of the reasons why Whitewolf likes this map so much, and one of the reasons why I picked it for my second match against Nightfall, is it's so easy to take that natural and just really macro up in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I love that unaccessible
Mm-hmm.
second base right off the bat. Makes things easier.
It really does.
All right.
So I think
and-
Nightfall knows that Whitewolf's in the bottom corner, given how quickly the scout got there. So we have a drone heading down. It unfortunately will not be able to make it inside. The wall is complete.
It's like even if they got there early, it's like, okay, I know that they're at least adjacent to me. I just don't know where.
Yeah.
Regardless, you're sending out 2 times the units to scout, or 1 unit 2 times as long.
But at least as Zerg, you've got the Overlord help too. So.
Oh yeah, that static
Mm-hmm.
observer is really good.
So Nightfall's finished his pool. His first hatch, or I guess his natural hatch, is done at this point. And looks like he's getting ready to do speed on the spawning pool. Yep, he had it selected, and he's just waiting on the 100 minerals. So he's going for speedlings again.
Do you think that Nightfall needs to change his strategy? Because I think he doesn't. I think he should just do the same thing, and it probably end up working well.
You know, if he doesn't see any early aggression come out of Whitewolf, I think that strategy works really well. Like I say, Nightfall, I tried to play a macro game against him and didn't work out so well. So he's got pretty good unit control. He can control 2 sets of armies, you know, relatively effectively. Granted, you know, Zerg units, there's not a lot of casting or anything going on. He's not going infestors or vipers or anything like that. So
He typically doesn't do that, mostly because he doesn't practice enough with the caster units.
and we actually have an early Baneling nest coming down, so this might just be a straight up Baneling bust on Whitewolf's main wall here.
Yeah, if he learned his lesson, so to speak, from the last game, or one of the lessons at least, is that he doesn't have much in the early game blocking that wall.
Maybe one Marine. He actually had those Reapers last game, but they were kind of an around the map sort of a thing that ended up not, you know, playing out in terms of base defense. So, all right, we have the
And
Baneling nest is done. These 3 Zerglings, the speed's done as well. They're kind of patrolling around, just making sure nothing's going on.
where I think White Wolf learned his lesson in a way too. He's building a siege tank right away. He's gonna bunker up again.
He just
Or
has to-
turtle up rather.
Yeah, he needs to make sure he gets the siege deployed, and then it gets enough of the Banelings in front. So, I'll just point out once again, you know, Nightfall's map vision at this point. I mean, I know it's early, but he's got one Overlord that he's actually sending in to see what's going on. He sees the natural being built and actually sends it back out. There was the Zergling sitting out front that Whitewolf actually baited into running back and getting killed. So now the map vision thing that I was saying isn't quite as appropriate. But Nightfall had a very good contain in terms of map vision going on.
He has a cool little design going on in the mini-map. Got that little kind of a symbol with the Overlords.
Yep.
Fog of War and stuff.
Yep, and he's got the original scouting Overlord heading down. Like I say, he's gonna get what White Wolf's equivalent to a proxy kind of, you know, scanner grid is. And this Marine tries to go out and snipe those two Zerglings. Those Zerglings could have won actually, but Nightfall decides to pull them back, and you know, now we've got two relatively injured Marines sitting in the bunker.
Wow, he has a Viking out already.
He does.
He's gonna attack hard again.
He's got the Viking out to go Overlord hunting. Nightfall actually is not doing too poorly in that regard. He one more Overlord, he might be in trouble.
Not surprisingly, another starport and a fusion core going down.
There you go. It's going battle cruisers. We got double Evo chambers coming in here for Nightfall, so he's going to start working on some upgrades. There is a Roach Warren on the field as well.
He's changing. They're both changing their strategies a little bit.
Yep, he's got two Queens coming down. There's actually a Hydra Den that's getting ready to get built here as well. So we're going to have a Roach Hydra. I think he's probably getting the Hydras knowing that there's a starport already out. And we have a third command center being built for White Wolf right about the same time as Nightfall is getting his third base.
Now, if he times his production correctly, Nightfall will have a major advantage in about 130 seconds. That's about 2 minutes. So if he times his production such that he pushes a huge Roach Hydra across the map in 2 minutes, he will have a major advantage because his 1-1 will be finished, and his Roach movement speed will be done, and his Hydralisk upgrades will be done all about the same time.
That's absolutely right. And from a production standpoint on White Wolf's side, no other army units really coming out at this point. He did swap out the starport to be the wall, so I'm not entirely sure. Actually, he wanted the extra tech lab, I guess.
Right, 4 battlecruisers. There's 1 battlecruiser on the way and 1 Raven.
There you go. The third moves out here. I wouldn't be surprised if that doesn't start turning into a planetary any minute here. He actually went double orbital. That's the other nice thing about the in-base thing. It's kind of an untouched expansion, is you can go double orbital and not have to worry about you know, planetarying up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
I do love my orbitals.
Here comes the planetary. You know, White Wolf, as I mentioned last game, he likes to put that sensor tower up and really get a grid about what's going on. He hasn't done that in either game yet, and I'd like to see him do that so he at least has kind of an early warning system. And also, very interestingly, Nightfall has 1 Zergling sitting outside of the third. What I think he is expecting to see is the third land, but he doesn't have the vision on it. He doesn't even have vision on that missile turret.
That's the same problem I had when I played White Wolf. And boom, it's dead. Moved in just a second too late. And he's got Hydras, and he's gonna be there at about the right time. Actually, I think his 1-1 already finished. Oh no, wait, no, that's level 2. Yeah, so his 1-1 just finished. He doesn't have the production right away like he might want for a timing attack, but
let's
Burrow's
see.
just finished.
Yep, Burrow's finished at this point. So units on the field, we have 1 Viking, 1 Siege Tank, 1 Battle Cruiser, and 1 Raven for White Wolf versus we've got 5 Roaches, 4 Hydras on the map. Only 58 drones so far. We've
Only
got
58.
we've got the creep spread starting from Nightfall, so he's going to start getting the creep highway down to the south here. And that 1 siege tank is sieged up on the planetary as well, so there is a good static defense, which we've come to expect from White Wolf. And the supply differential actually isn't that big, and I know Zerg can turn it around pretty quick, but only about 20 supply difference at this point.
Yeah, it's pretty close in terms of actual supply, and that's mostly, I think, because of the battle cruisers.
Yep. 2 more starports coming down for Whitewolf, so that will be 5 in total. That is the number he likes once he's got 3 bases.
Now, did you see the base in the bottom left corner?
It just actually got landed over there. And interestingly, there's an Overlord sitting on the other one, but not on this one. So, in a lot of cases, Whitewolf's actually getting pretty lucky this game in terms of that Zergling not seeing the 3rd land right away. Whitewolf picking the exact right one to kind of put a command center, hidden command center on.
Your wish came true. The 2 sensor towers go up.
There you go. So he does have the grid going on as well. And I'm actually looking over on my second monitor here where Aubrey's watching, and there actually is somebody watching the tournament. Appreciate you guys doing that. The commentary here is actually something that I would have liked to have done as well. A counter on who's won what games. So if you come into the tournament mid stage, you know what the series score is. That's a UI improvement. Anyway, that's a UI improvement, something I was looking into but wasn't able to implement before the game started yesterday. So we'll work on that.
All right. Let's look at the units real quick. Whitewolf has 2 battlecruisers now, and he has one that's in the queue, and another Raven that's coming out. So he has a Thor.
He's got Yamato research finishing now too, so those battlecruisers now have Yamato. We have 13 Hydralisks in production for Nightfall, so Hydras are the answer for him.
He needs more. He needs more.
Yes.
And Swarm Host. Do you see the Swarm Host coming down?
Yeah, he's getting the Greater Spire too. So, interesting unit comp here. 9 Swarm Hosts, a whole bunch of Hydras, and they're going to start burrowing up, and the siege is going to begin here. Here comes the first wave of locusts. The Hydras are waiting for the response to swoop in here, and the locusts will get. They're gonna get that 1 missile turret down, which actually doesn't matter because there isn't much in the way of an air army, even though there is a Greater Spire coming.
The locusts benefit from the upgrades of the 2/2 that he has so far.
There you go, and
we just saw
yep, there's
everything.
Whitewolf scan, so he sees the Hydra Roach army with the Swarm Hosts. And he's got to figure out now he really doesn't have a lot of long-range weapons besides the battle cruisers, which will get chewed up by the Hydras.
This is going to be a war of attrition because he's just going to keep sending those locusts.
It is, and I would be really concerned about it if we didn't have Whitewolf's 4th over here. He only has 5 SCVs mining, but if you could get that one kind of lined up a little bit, he's not going to lose as much production keeping this planetary repaired as he otherwise would. He's also got a Widow Mine moved up as well, 2 Widow Mines. So between all of that, that'll AOE these locusts down pretty well. And there's 3 Vipers being produced. So there I go eating my words again. I think Nightfall is gonna try and abduct those battlecruisers into the group.
I think those were my words actually that you ate.
Oh well, somebody's. I said he didn't like to cast either. That's why, you'd send the Mutaball one way and your Lings the other.
Yeah.
So there's the 3 Vipers. He also droned up a little bit as well. There was another 13 drones that hit the map. I'm loving there's not as much of a supply differential as we've seen in previous games. It'll be interesting to see if Whitewolf can really get to that critical mass of battlecruisers. There's 2 more battlecruisers in production, so he's going to have 7 plus 5 Ravens. He's got six Vikings as well. The Vikings actually aren't going to do as much work except for those Vipers, if those Vipers get down here.
He's moving out right now.
Yep.
Here we go.
And actually, Nightfall's supply capped at this point. And the Vipers are not down here yet to do anything about the abducts. We've got some point defense drones going down. Those Hydras get eaten alive by this group. He needs to get a repair crew on some of these battlecruisers. They're starting to go down.
Oh, we got another one.
There goes one. It's interesting. He's focusing on the swarm hosts instead of the Hydras underneath. And there we go. Now he's on the... That one Hydra got a really good kill off it, otherwise shouldn't have.
Oh, he's got to get those up. He's not unburrowing the swarm hosts.
Well, they're
just dying.
I don't think he can do anything. They would. I don't think they are fast enough to run away from the battlecruisers at this point.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they're. It would take a while. He definitely would have lost some units, but
Yep.
he could have salvaged maybe 2 of them if he really wanted to.
The supply differential is non-existent anymore. There is a sizable bank for Nightfall, not in the gasway though, so these high-tech units, the Swarm Host, the Vipers, he's not going to be able to produce a whole bunch out of. He does have 4 Corruptors coming, but that's all he can afford at this point. And White Wolf's got his repair crew with him now.
That's so many SCVs.
Yep. Well, this is the way it works. If he can keep those, these 550 hit point things alive. All right. So
this is the thing I found the most frustrating about Air Terran is if you bring the repair crew.
Yep.
It's so hard for me to target the repair crew.
All right. Here come the Corruptors. So he's got one battle cruiser that's kind of up in the front with a repair on it. Actually, there's a corruption that came down, actually. Interesting. It'd be interesting to see a blinding cloud come out of these Vipers. Bring the range of the battle cruisers down to 1. Oh goodness, here we go. Here's a we got 17, 18 Corruptors on the map at this point versus the battle cruiser army. There's some Yamatos going out. 6 battle cruisers versus 12 Corruptors. There's actually only 4 battle cruisers up here at the main army. The other ones are kind of waddling in right now. Here we go. There's Thors are working on the Viking. I'm sorry, the Vikings and Thors are working on the Corruptors. No real big supply differential, and interestingly, Nightfall hasn't expanded out to a 5th or anything like that. So he's being pushed on this, which is something he hasn't really felt yet against White Wolf.
Yeah, and he's right now just trying to hold off the attack. He probably isn't thinking at all about...
I completely missed it, but the Hidden Command Center got taken out down there. But White Wolf responds by making a 4th of his own, upgrading to a planetary kind of in a more natural position. So at this point, White Wolf, I think, is happy to take his lead. He's taking out some creep tumors, but that's really all at this point. From a production standpoint, nothing really coming out for White Wolf, which could be bad given, once again, the sizable bank that Nightfall has.
Just as I saw it, there's about, let's see, how many workers is that? I can't tell actually right here, but we have a good amount of workers that he's transferring over that were just sitting there for who knows how long. And we got Zerglings. We've got a lot of Zerglings because he has a lot of money.
Yep.
So you need to get out some units, regardless of what they are.
A lot of Zerglings coming out. We have a 5th finally coming down over here, which I mentioned previously was something we were expecting to see. And only 6 battle cruisers in the army. He's got 1 more producing at this point. Lots of Lings coming out on the map.
That's good. That's what he needs right now.
Yeah.
If White Wolf ever moves out, he needs to have those Lings on his front doorstep to stop the attack, to bring it back.
Yeah, that's true. So 51 Lings and 13 Corruptors on the map at this point. 4 more Corruptors in production. Supply is remaining relatively even, actually.
I think White Wolf was trying to sneak another base where that Overlord is, that he's pooping next to the 4th.
Yeah, at this point, Nightfall's got, if you look at his vision, he's got something on every expand. Almost. There's 1 that he doesn't have, and he's actually just now going to notice the planetary as well as he was sending his Zergling out to check that out. So.
And that's going to get attacked right now.
Yep, you can now see the swarm of Zerglings heading down here. That's 50 Zerglings against a planetary. If we can get some SCVs around the planetary in time. Nope, the Lings got us around. I don't know. There's actually a few SCVs that got in there on that.
I guess it's like mining, because if you mine when you're mining, the SCVs can walk through things, but I guess also the same goes when you're repairing.
I don't think so. Now here, interestingly, he tried to burrow, but there is Ravens with the army. There always has been. So for the first time in a while, for a very brief moment, White Wolf actually had a supply lead. He needs to get those SCVs back to mining again, though. He's got 4 sitting there waiting to do something. 16 more Corruptors in production, so Nightfall I think, has had enough of the battlecruiser army.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you do at this point? I honestly have no idea. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could go get some Broodlords again, but those are so slow, and you can't repair them like you can battle cruisers.
Well, and Broodlords can't attack air. I'm telling you, this army, the higher it gets up, it's 2/2 in upgrades at this point. A battle cruiser army is actually really scary with the Yamatos and everything else.
And he did morph one Broodlord.
Yeah, he does have one Broodlord coming, another 7 Corruptors. So on the map now, there are 44 Corruptors versus 8 battle cruisers.
I think this is going to be an all-in.
It might.
This is it.
Well, it's so there's 3 more bases coming out for Nightfall, all up in the upper left here. So it's not an econ type of a thing. This is just purely, you know, and the Corruptors are actually 3-0 in terms of upgrades. So he hasn't done anything for the armor on him just yet.
I think he only has 1 Spire, that's why.
Yeah. Point defense drones, maybe some seeker missiles. The Ravens are going to be the key to this battle in terms of making it happen.
Yeah. If we look at the upgrades tab, which is G, you can see that Whitewolf is at 2/2 for the air. He's gone all air upgrades, whereas Nightfall has a pretty wide range of upgrades. He has the ground, the carapace. He has the ranged attack. He has the flying attack.
Well, that's been kind of the evolution of the game, right? So, Whitewolf actually with a great scan sees there's now 9 Broodlords out in this Corruptor mix as well, and the creep is slowly making its way into Whitewolf's 3rd base, and I think it's we're about ready to have an engagement here.
Here we go.
Well, no,
he sees it.
Yeah, the Corruptors are kind of moving away.
Ooh.
He might actually try and move around and take the 4th out and really get the economy hit on Whitewolf.
So 39 Corruptors, 9 Broodlords. Oh, he sees them all.
He sees them all. The Broodlords are going to start attacking just those couple of little SCVs over there. The enormous air army of Whitewolf is starting to move here. This is a fully maxed army essentially for both players, and here comes the engagement.
Oh,
Point
no,
defense are down. Here comes some Yamatos in there. I'm not going to tell you who's going to win this until.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
If you watch the supply count, actually, Nightfall at 158 to Whitewolf 185. The Corruptors are now trying to go head to head. They've got some corruption down on the battle cruisers themselves. And this army actually is going to clean up the Broodlords relatively easily. And Whitewolf, sensing the advantage, doesn't even keep his battle cruisers around. He's starting to send those up north.
Oh, he even brought in medevacs to heal the SCVs.
Yeah, he's got a couple of Widow Mines running along here as well. So he's got a little bit of everything in this group at this point. Nightfall did try and to rebuild here. He now has 23 Corruptors on the field. He's got more Lings hitting the field as well. He's got 43 Lings that he's sending straight down. He's going to try and get Whitewolf to pull back. I have a feeling at this point, though, Whitewolf is probably just going to try and push the advantage.
So is the winner of this one going to face you? Is that what's going to happen?
No, so the winner of this match will actually face See No Evil next.
Ah, okay.
And then there's also myself and Nano on the other side of the bracket.
Okay.
So we were actually 1 game ahead on the upper end of the challengers bracket, just given how things went yesterday. All right, here come the Lings actually. While Whitewolf tries to push the attack, the Lings are going to come in here. There's a siege, 2 sieges and a planetary. Yeah, that didn't work out at all. Coming back up to the main army here, you've got 9 battle cruisers really pushing in at this point. 6 Vikings, so Whitewolf at this point doesn't want more battle cruisers. He wants Vikings for the Corruptors. And Nightfall has no bank anymore, despite having a 4-base advantage.
He's trying to do a run-by with those Zerglings right now. He's sending everything he has.
He's sending the Lings, but it's just not going to work. He's tried twice now. There's 2 siege tanks. This siege tank has 63 kills. There's 63, 34, and 86 kills on the planetary and the 2 sieges.
This is brutal.
And Nightfall, while he did have the base advantage, has no drones on any of them. So he's getting no income. If we actually look at the income tab at this point, Whitewolf's got him 1,000 to 400 on minerals. And
he just transferred a bunch of drones, that's why. But right now he's going to be getting in more.
Yep. The supply lead is 120 for Whitewolf. Nightfall is wondering what went wrong.
Why, God, why? He needs to just call GG at this point.
I would certainly think so, but maybe he's trying to think of what the strategy is for next game, and in all honesty, the strategy is don't let there be 9 battle cruisers, 12 Vikings, and 12 Ravens on the field. Like, that just is unhealthy.
He's rebuilding everything pretty much at
Yep,
his
this
proxy
one spore
bases right
crawler
now.
trying to do something, it's not going to last.
Remember, at one point he had a lot of money. He could have probably just thrown down a bunch of spore crawlers all over.
Yep. Interesting, he went straight for an Ultralisk Cavern. He does have some income coming in now. Hasn't built any Ultras yet. He's got 5 Ultras in production now, so this is the last gasp, I'd say, as Whitewolf's army starts to clean up here.
And this will be the second time in our tournament that it has gone to the 3rd game.
With Nightfall being on both sides of that. I would love to see Whitewolf come back in the 3rd game with a, just like a two racks proxy or something like that.
Proxy barracks.
Yes. just end it. Like that was the key that I figured when I lost that first game against Nightfall, and it was because I didn't have the macro to keep up. You just can't let it get past 10 games or 10 minutes in the game. So more Ultras in production at this point. There's going to be 11 Ultralisks on the field, and they're now moving down towards what would have been Whitewolf's 5th. There's nothing there at this point. Whitewolf has not expanded out further. I think he's got this, so they're actually going to start heading towards the 3rd, I guess.
Yeah, this is unfortunately just desperation, last try type of thing.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna do some serious damage because there's, Ultralisks. The Zerglings are not the threat. The Ultralisks definitely are. And actually, let me look at Whitewolf's vision here. He's scanning around. He's looking for extra bases. He sees the Ultralisks coming in now as well. The Ultralisks are gonna cleave down the repair crew on the planetary here. Whitewolf seems unconcerned. He's going to go for the base race at this point, I think, because the other part of this, as Terran, he can lift all of his bases off, and those Ultralisks can just sit there and twiddle their pincers.
And they can't fit on that ramp. He needs to get in the base.
Well, he's working on it. Separately, you've got Nightfall trying to rebuild a spawning pool up here. Whitewolf sees the Ultralisk Cavern as well. He's going to take it out, so there will be no other Ultralisks on the field. Yeah, production at this point is pretty much non-existent. Whitewolf did just pump out a couple of mines. I think he's going to use that as static defense. You've got the Ultralisks kind of cleaving everything down here in Whitewolf's base. It's a shame Whitewolf isn't lifting. Okay, he does. He does. He has his starports off the ground at this point. So they sit there taunting, and, essentially if anything not ratcheted to the ground is up in the air at this point.
He can't build any more battle cruisers. They killed a fusion core. It's not going to make a difference. But
no, and we've got Whitewolf supply blocked at this point as well. Really shouldn't make a difference. I'm trying to figure out what Nightfall's thinking at this point. If I look at his camera, he's going to continue to rebuild hatcheries because he has 2,600 in terms of minerals. These Ultralisks are continuing to take things out in what was Whitewolf's natural expansion. And at this point, I think Whitewolf probably ought to split his Air Force into 2, and continue to press the advantage up here, but just break the morale, get rid of the Ultralisks. Let's get to the 3rd game. We all have lots to do today.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he just can't contend with an air army. He has nothing to do with it.
Whitewolf
he doesn't want to lose.
No, I don't blame him. So Whitewolf has taken out the expands in the upper left. He's going to head out to the right here again. You've got Nightfall re-expanding to his 3rd and what might have been his 4th. I can't call at this point. And these Ultralisks really have nothing to do because everything is off the ground except for this last planetary, actually. And I think that's actually what he just realized. He's going to go over and take that out, but once that's out, these Ultralisks are dead in the water.
How come it says 5 on the carapace?
Ultralisks actually get bonus armor.
Oh,
There's
it's from that upgrade, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I completely missed this. So Nightfall's new strategy is to build 1 billion spore crawlers.
He's surrounding the spawning pool. I'm thinking about saying that we should get to the 3rd game or something like that.
No, that's not our place. This is their thing to do. These point defense drones are doing work against these spawning pools, though. Or I'm sorry, the spore crawlers. And there's actually a floating command center with the air army here. It's the little things that really.
This is ridiculous at this point.
Yep. Nightfall is finally supply blocked. I don't know how the Overlords finally got caught, but they did. We have 2 hatcheries up, nothing being produced at either. There's only 300 minerals left for Nightfall. Nothing going on the production tab.
Sorry, spectators.
Yeah, this is definitely the...
Thank you.
There we go, finally. We got a GG. Wow.
Yeah, I need water after that game.
That's fine, I'll start setting up the 3rd one.
My mouth is really